Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nieces and nephews, everybody gather around the fire pit for story time with Unc. Just a fair warning, this video may contain harsh language that some viewers might be offended by, so you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and say this video contains foul language and graphic nature. So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, stick around. Today we're going to be telling you how I got banned from Facebook. I'm an elder millennial, so I remember when Facebook started, it was the best thing ever. Uh, the platform MySpace had just gone to hell, and everybody was making the switch. So after using the platform for about 6 months, I joined a fishing group, just a small local fishing group. It had like 100 members at the time, and I started posting in it. And these posts started to pick up traction. I was getting hundreds of likes and 20,000 views. So the person who started the group, we'll go ahead and call her Kathy for privacy reasons, reaches out to me and says, "Hey, you seem like you know what you're doing. Would you like to help me run this group and be an admin?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? I didn't fully get it. I didn't have a big social media presence. I just posted pics of fish I caught and things I was doing. I didn't think anybody really cared." So this goes on, and I successfully run this group for about, I don't know, 5 years or so, maybe a little less. And I'm getting messaged constantly by people asking me fishing related questions like what's the best gear to use, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And at the beginning, it was fine. I mean, I'd message them and be like, hey, this is what you use. So after a while, I'd have more people messaging me. So I'd do group meetups. I'd be like, all right, this is how you do this. And we're talking specifically for surf perch. And I'd host these meetups at the beach and I'd have, 100 people attend. And as my group grew, we got, 8,000, 9,000 people from 1,000. And as this happened, I would get notoriety, and with this notoriety came romance scammers. And I would get an abundance of these smoking hot, fake breast, 20 something year old women messaging me. And I'm not dumb. Like, I know I'm a solid 6 in the looks department. This girl is smoking hot. Even in my 20s, I don't think I would have had a chance. So I just immediately block them, move them over to the spam file, ban them from the group or whatever, right? But this went on for like ever, and they just kept getting more and more of them, and they kept getting more and more like outlandish, right? It used to start with like a simple line like, hey, how do I tie the best knot for this or whatever? And they'd at least pretend to care about fishing. But they all have like outlandish names. Like, I grew up before internet porn, right? So, like, you can't tell me you're Jenna Jameson because I know who Jenna Jameson is, right? Like, back in the day, we had magazines and we knew our porn stars. There wasn't this abundance of internet porn that there is now. So, like, these romance scammers would use these, like, porn star names, and they'd send me very inappropriate pictures. So, it became my quest to troll them back, to be like, all right, I am going to troll these romance scammers. So, I would talk to them. I'd talk to them on and off sometimes for like a few days, but some of them kind of slow play. they immediately tell you how handsome you are and they think they're falling for you. That usually takes like 2 or 3 days. But sometimes they'll slow play you. They'll ask about your day, and and the great thing about it is you can say whatever you want to them, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry that happened." I mean, I would just tell these romance scammers this really outlandish stuff like, uh, I got a call from NASA, and it turns out my grandfather was flying to the moon tomorrow. And these romance scammers would just not get it. Like, their language is terrible. So after trolling them, I would typically try to get them to admit it. It became like a goal, like a personal, lifelong quest to get these romance scammers to admit to what they were doing. I mean, I got obsessed with this. I offered them money. I'd be like, hey, I will cash app you $5 right now if you just admit it. Just admit that you're a fucking romance scammer. We can both move on with our lives and you'll get this $5. I'm not even gonna rat you out, right? Like, I don't care, good for you. I'm sure you're in like India or Ghana or some foreign place like New Jersey and you just need the money. But a lot of times they just like stick to their scripts. They were just fucking locked in and wouldn't deviate from these scripts. I had this one romance scammer message me, and she's like, the name of the group I used to moderate for had the name of the town I live in, but they always associate it with a bigger town with the same name. So she emails me or sends me a message on Facebook and says, hey, I noticed you're in Long Beach and I'm at my sister's house. I noticed you're really handsome. Do you want to come over and hook up? So I message her back and I'm like, oh, really? What part of Long Beach are you in? And she sends me this photo uh, off of like Google Maps. And I'm like, okay. And I recognize the house because it's a fairly small town. And she's like, I'm super horny and I don't know anybody here. Can you come over? And I've been in a committed relationship for a long time now, and I have no interest in hooking up with anybody anytime soon. But boredom got the best of me, so I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes, right? So I message her, and she's like, I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm super horny. I can come over in like 10 minutes. And she's like, okay, my sister's here. And I'm like, all right, cool. Can your sister join in? And she's like, no, my sister's not into that. And I'm like, well, all right. And she's like, my son's here. He has a Nintendo, but you need to go to the store and pick up a Google Play card. And I was like, all right, I'll go to the store and put $2 on a Google Play card. And she's like, $2? That's not enough. Can you put $100 on there? And I said, look, lady, I haven't spent $100 on a kid in my entire life, so I'm sure as hell not going to do it now. We'll just tie him up out in the backyard. He'll be fine. And she wouldn't go for it. Like, she's like, okay, whatever. Can you pick up some chocolate and wine? And this Google Play card. She kept pushing that Google Play card. So I fed the beast, I was like, yeah, all right. I'm outside. I picked up a bottle of Mad Dog 2020. I got 50 cents on this Google Play card. Where are you at? And she blocked me. So I didn't get, I mean, it was all a fictitious time, but she blocked me and moving on. So after doing this for a while, I ran across this romance scammer who ended up messaging me, talking back and forth, and I say, we go through the motions, where you're from, how you been, how old are you, what's your dog's name, how super handsome I am. And I start trolling her. I just start saying this outlandish stuff. And it finally comes to the point where I'm like, look, I know you're a romance scammer. The game's over. Let's just admit it. I'll cash app you $10 if you just admit that you're a romance scammer. And she's like, I'm not a romance scammer. Denying. And then the bitch reports my profile to Facebook. Facebook puts me under review. I've been under review since December 15th. And then they banned it. They banned the whole email account. This account that I've had for like 14 years with like decades of family photos and personal memories. I mean, how am I supposed to remember what I had for dinner in '06 if they're going to remove me from Facebook? But I hope you guys enjoyed this story, something a little different on the channel. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment telling me your favorite Facebook story as well. This is Outdoors with Unc, reminding you go outside. It's good for your soul.